All right, Shalom. We the Hebrew Israelites who come out week in and week out. Prophesy the downfall of the sinful kingdom called America, also known as Babylon in the scriptures. All right, and first and foremost, before we get started, we want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, in their proper true names in the Hebrew tongue. Kal, Halayim,
La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha, Wakah, Kodash, Ma'amak.
All right, double honors to the apostles and elders, also to our elders as well. And salutations to all the occupants around the four corners of earth, which is sincere. All right, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it.
All right. Let's start it off with a precept, man.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now you know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work, only he now who will let till he be taken out of the way.
Right. So now we're going to start off with this precept. Through the Spirit, we're going to go into talking about Esau and that coming judgment. All right. Now the Lord said in these last days, I think that was Paul speaking. Yeah, that was Paul speaking in the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and he was telling us that in these last days the mystery of iniquity had to be revealed. All right. So we'll know who's going to be ruling in these last days. Who's going to bring all the corruption and the wickedness upon the earth, and the death and destruction and pestilence upon the earth. All right, Revelation chapter 6, real quick. You already got it? Let's get it.
Revelation 6 and 8. And I looked and beheld a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So come.
All right, great. So he gave him what? He gave him power over death, right? His name is Death and Hell. And hell followed him. You see that? So that's talking about Esau, the Caucasian race, the so-called white man. Same one that's out there kicking in the Capitol Hill, fighting for their rights. You see them getting maced and sprayed in the face, or that chick that got shot in the neck. That was in the military, and one guy got sprayed in the face, and he's like, yo, I don't get it. If they'll spray me, they'll spray you. They'll do this to anybody. It's like, they'll do this to your children. It's like, oh, so now y'all want to act like y'all know what it feels like, so-called white man. Now y'all want to act like y'all know what it feels like to be oppressed. Now y'all want to fight for oppression. Fight for not having rights. Y'all about to see what it feels like to be oppressed. You see that?
When Trump came into his presidency, he was speaking on building the wall. And this is just ironic that now, you Edomites, you so-called white Caucasian men, women and children was running up that wall in Capitol Hill, man.
Right, looking like the damn bird. Motherfucker got shit else better to do. They should be home doing some shit. They climbing the wall. They ain't taking anything. They was like, I'm gonna take a letter. He took a Nancy Pelosi's letter. He took a letter with her letter here. Like, yeah, I got you. Like, she don't care about that. Now he gonna get. They offer him like 75 years in jail.
No.
What's his name? Julian Assange. They offer him 175 years in jail. You see that for espionage. Alright, so, yeah, man. Oh, that precept. Yeah, I got one. Oh, real quick.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3.
Right.
For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
Right, so we're waiting for it. These heathens and 2/3 of our people, they're not waiting for it. That's why in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, it says so far beyond all that they're looking for. And they're not waiting for it. What they're waiting for is a miracle to revive this dead kingdom. They want to revive America, but America's done. It's on his last leg like him. He almost out of here. You know that. America knows that.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith.
Right, so the just, the children of Israel, not only the children of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the true kings of this universe.
Con.
To the promise that was given to Abraham. All right? Go ahead, brother.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51. And I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon. But
And
she
that's
is
what-
not healed.
She is not going to be healed. That's what the elder was just saying. That's what 2/3 of our people and these other nations that consider themselves Americans, that's what they're waiting on, the healing of Babylon. But it's going to continue to fall and ultimately be destroyed by these nuclear missiles, man, being shot at this place.
Right. Hey, so, can somebody get let's get Genesis 17 and 5. Genesis 17 5. All right, that's what I'm saying. And we're the true kings of this earth. That's right.
This is Genesis.
This is Genesis. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 5. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but by thy name shall be Abraham.
Right.
For
So,
a fa-
now you guys, so this is when the Lord changed Abram's name to Abraham. His name is Abram, which means exalted father. But he changed his name to Abraham, Abraham, which means father of nations. See that? Go ahead, brother.
But thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee.
Right, and Israel is known as many nations. 12 tribes of Israel. All right, we're many nations, and that goes along with Revelations chapter 7. Nations, kindreds, and tongues.
This is Revelation chapter 7. This is Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man can number, of all the nations, kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
Right, so now you know what it's talking about when it say nations. It's talking about these people here, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the Israelites that scattered amongst these other nations, looking like these other nations, living the cultures of these other nations, but they're really Israelites. But he said, what? Those are, the Lord going to scatter us around the four corners of the earth, and he's going to gather us from amongst those nations. All right? So that's what's about to happen. But in the midst of that, Esau is going to be revealed in these times, in the time of revealing, and they're going to be put in slavery real soon for 1,000 years. That's right. But they're called a Caucasian race. Your biblical name is Esau, Edom. Everybody has judgment upon this earth, but y'all expect not to get judged. That's right, brother. Go ahead.
And it's the book of Psalms, chapter 49, and verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
That's right, man. They walk around the earth, rape, robbing, stealing, and killing, and murdering, but they expect not to get judged, man. You see that? They call it what? The lands after their own names. They think the earth is theirs and the heaven is theirs. You know, they name it after themselves, like Rothschild Boulevard. You know, District of Columbia, or Columbus, right?
The state of Israel.
Yes.
Faking it.
Right. And what else? They got more.
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Jackson.
That's right. And he wasn't even from here. They just did that to commemorate him.
America.
America. African people, but they got a name that they Edomite. That's right, man. You got something? So that's right, man. So-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, the deceiver, Diablos. All right, go ahead.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
That's right, man. So it's a righteous thing to the Lord to recompense. Look what he did to Egypt. Look what he did to Babylon. He said, but woe unto that nation that persecutes you. You see that? The Lord gonna raise up nations against us, But he said, but woe unto them that offend, man. Look at that in, where was that? Isaiah, we just read something, didn't we?
I just read,
Okay, so we read, Revelation, Mystery of Iniquity.
Yeah.
Yep.
You go back to
It
it.
said death and hell, using heaven, because we read that.
This is Revelations chapter 20. And I'm going to start at verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
Right. So that's talking about who? The wicked, mainly Esau over here in America. He said what? Yeah, turn the water, bro.
This is Malachi chapter 1. And I'm going to start from the top and just go to the This is Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build and I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness and the people whom the Lord have indignation forever.
Oh, the people of whom the Lord has indignation forever. And the scriptures say he changed not. So he hated Esau then, he hates him now. You know? But all right, so he's showing hate to Esau. Right, go ahead. And he's showing love to us by chastising us. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 20, Shalaki. Verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death.
Right, the second death is coming. The first death was what? The Noah's flood. The second death is going to be with fire. Y'all see it coming. Y'all see the plagues. Y'all see the wars breaking out. But guess what? The God of heaven, he's a so-called black man. That's the next big kicker. Kick his ass. Right? So death and hell, these damn Edomites, and 2/3 of our people, and all the wickedness over here is going to be cast in the lake of fire. A lake of fire represents what? The element surrounding a pool of water. Just like you have a lake with earth and dirt around it, that's a lake. You have a city burning with fire, lava, and you have nothing but ocean around it, that's a lake of fire. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire.
So you know who he's talking about when he says death and hell. All right? See that? So America is what he's talking about. Babylon is going to be cast into the lake of fire. And these Edomites going to be burned up with it. And he said their root, you should leave them not the root. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the days come that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
There you go. So if any Edomites are in this place, Babylon, when the destruction comes, they have no chance of salvation, man. And if they're alive on this earth, after the Lord brings his men back down from the heavens, they get put straight into slavery. Like this dog on that chain, we're going to be walking the Edomites, the so-called white man, on chains in the future. Caucasians. Did you know that's in the Bible? Did you know that? No, you know today. I'm trying to stop saying so-called white man. But, go ahead, bro.
This is Job, chapter 18, verse 14. It says, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle because there's none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branches be cut off. His remembrance shall be...
And above. So they're talking about these lower Edomites that live here in America, walking by every day, they're going to be burned up here. But the ones what they call the higher ups, the branches, they're going to be dried up. See that? They're going to lose everything. That's what we're going into. All the riches that they built up, they're going to lose it all. They're going to vomit it up.
Come sit down in the dust.
Yeah, sit down in the dust. Look at that too. Go ahead, bro. You got Let's run these two.
This is Psalms chapter 49. I'm going to start at verse 6. No, verse 5. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathens and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written, this honor of all his saints. Praise ye the Lord.
That's right, man. There's honor. And what did he say? We're going to do according to his anger. Not according to our anger, because we have limits to it. But according to the judgments that are written. So they have judgments that are written. And for this place called America, the Lord has what written? He has the book of life and the book of death. The death meaning you're going to die in that second death that's coming. See that? All right? And the ones that are written in the book of life, they're going to be taken up to salvation. You know, giving life eternal. And be with Yahweh Shai forever. You know, Yahweh Shai, he wants us to be where he is now. But the only way we could be there is if we die and be in the spirit realm. But now the Lord has made a way. Yahweh, through Yahweh Shai, has made a way for us to be with our King, Yahweh Shai, forever in a different flesh. All right? And that's our goal. That's what we want. But you goddamn devils, what you want, y'all don't want that. Y'all want a new world order. Y'all want a centralized rulership on the earth. Just like you have a central bank here in the world, in America, the Federal Reserve. All right? They want to get rid of the central bank in America, and they want to have a central rulership, authoritarianism, whatever, over the world. Those upper banking elites. All right? You know? So we cut from two different cloths. We want two different things. We want righteousness on earth. These devils, what they want is vanity and more wickedness. Go ahead, Rakah.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1.
That's right. Let's read about how Esau, the Caucasian race, going into slavery. Let's get it.
Verse 41.
No more donuts, hamburgers, none of that. Let's get it. McDonald's shutting down.
It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathen agree according to the commandment of the king.
That's right.
Yea, meaning also the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificing to idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Yeah, what you have, Maccabees?
No.
All right, you talking about Antiochus Epiphanes. Go ahead.
It's pretty much the same way, you know what I'm saying? Nothing new under the sun, man. Same thing with the whole New World Order. They're writing up, written on their draconian measures, all right? Their draconian laws, taking away your so-called rights, stripping them away slowly but surely, all right? Bringing in this drastic measures that they're doing, man. All right?
I don't think I said that. I got you.
I'm gonna skip down to verse 50. It says, and whosoever would not do according to the commandments of the king, he said should die. So go on, man, just like the elder was talking about. Esau coming down with great wrath according to Revelation 12:12. Why? Because he know that he has a short time, man. Why? Because we're about to go into that righteous rulership under the Lord, the true king, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right, so they finna have their last hurrah.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah, we have. Look at this real quick. There may be an interjection, sure? All right, we'll come back around. Let's bring this out, man, and I still want to hit this point, showing that we are kings, all right, through the promise that was given to Abraham, through our bloodline. We are the true kings and rulers on this earth. What does the word king mean? If you look at the word king, it means royalty. All right, so our women are royalty as well. You know, daughters of Zion. But to be royalty means what? To be a high ruler. So we are natural born high rulers, but the Lord said we're going to be brought low. So who's ruling the earth now? These Edomites. That's why he said Lucifer shall fall like lightning. All right, they're going to fall. All right, let's get it, man.
All right, it's back at the book of Genesis, chapter 17, starting at verse 5.
Right, what's that say? I see kings about verses.
Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but by thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee.
That's right, he made us a father through the promise. Made Abraham a father through the promise. A father of many nations. All right, go ahead.
and I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Whoa, kings. And kings shall come out of thee. He's not talking about the great kingdom that became Ishmael. You see that? Ishmael was given the kingdom as well. But the Lord said, we kings. You see that? Esau got kings. One second. They got kings. Amalek. What they call them? Lord Rothschild. That's what they call him, Lord Rothschild. That's what the word king means, to be Lord or master. All right, but the Lord said, we the true kings. We the true masters on this earth. All right, let's get this precept real fast.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, no, chapter 10, verse 7. Yep. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
That's right, because the difference is the blessing and the promise that was given to us. Esau was promised to rule in wickedness, and their rulership was going to be for a moment. What's that, Job 20?
I got it right here. This is Job chapter 20, verse 5. No, I'm going to start at verse 4.
Yeah.
Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
Right, man.
Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reaches to the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dawn. They which have seen him shall say, where is he?
Yeah, they're gonna say, where is he, man? All right. You know, he said that the triumphing of the wicked is short. If you look at the Most High's time period, 1,000 years being a day to him, and you look at Esau's rulership going back to 334 BC with Alexander, it hasn't been that long. You see that? For rulership. All right? So the Lord gonna make a short work. We say he's gonna cut it short. You know? That's it.
That's why the scripture mentioned Esau will fall like lightning.
That's right.
Esau falls fast.
Fast, man.
Just
good point.
Speaking prior to camp on Captain Cesaria, being on the Jesse Peterson show, and how he was asked that question in regards to you see the Israelites being at a fallen state. He said, yeah. But then when he was asked if he see that the Edomite, all right, the nation of Edom are in a fallen state, he responded no. Which, hey, you don't understand the scriptures. When you understand that, hey, the scripture says that Esau will fall like lightning, that means quick.
That's right.
We see that downfall coming into play today.
That's right. What's that? What he said to the serpent in Genesis? Anybody know what that said? He said, the daughters will be the devil.
It does.
Yeah, man.
This is Exodus. This is Exodus chapter 19. I'm gonna start at verse 5, but the point is in 6. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. And this is what the Lord was saying unto Moses, all right, to speak on our people, which are the children of Israel, that we will be a kingdom of priests, all right, above all people, a peculiar treasure above all people upon the land.
Right. What's the first point he said? Keep his covenant. And that's what makes us, that's what separates us. If there's a bunch of kings on the earth, what makes us different? What's our kingdom? What's our laws? You know, what separates us? That's what the word holy means, to be separated. All right, go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as the Lord Yahweh Shai commanded me. Now you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. Keep them therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation, is a wise and understanding people.
Right. That's right, man. So the laws that the Lord gave us, that he gave to Moses, which was a so-called black man, a Haitian, all right, who he gave to him, you know, the laws that he gave us, he said that was our wisdom in the sight of the nations, man. That's what separated us. Because these other ones, they were known as what? Heathens, outside of the temple. Heathendom, strangers, you know, wicked mind.
Verse 7, it says, "For what nation is there so great who hath Yahweh so nigh unto them?"
Right, what nation is so great? I don't care how great they are. Look at these damn devils. They got all this money, but they don't have Yahweh Shai with them. They got riches and wealth, and they gain the whole earth, but the Lord is far from them. He don't deal with them. All right? Far, he said, far out of their judgment. They can't understand it.
"For what nation is there so great who hath Yahweh so nigh unto them, as the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgment and righteous, and has all the laws which I have set before thee this day?"
Right, so I don't care who it is. I don't care what nation call themselves kings. Look, they got the king of Spain. You know, today. They still calling themselves kings, man. They got people bowing down to them in the Philippines. You know? But the Lord said, what nation is so great? You know, that has statutes and laws and commandments that were given from heaven. That was sent down here, given to, we say given to our angels. Somebody got a precept? I do. Go ahead. Oh, he got another one. Go ahead.
This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. "But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into the marvelous light." Because we are a royal nation, right? A royal priesthood, right? So he pulled us out of the darkness because we were in a state of confusion. But according to Genesis 3 and 6, Esau's supposed to be in that state of confusion, all right? But he pulled us out of that darkness because we weren't even aware that we are a royal people, because this society in this world trying to teach us differently. And we ain't shit to anybody else in this society. But the truth is, we are the chosen people of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
Right, and by the dust, he said they were going to dwell in the dust. You got that too?
Yeah. This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 14.
Right, Esau has set up all kind of schools and colleges over the earth. Right? They got all these schools and colleges, but they dumb as hell, dumb as doorknobs. You know, I ain't want to cuss from the child, but yeah. So they dumb as hell, man. The Lord said what? The wisdom of this world is foolishness.
This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 13. And the Lord Yahweh said unto the woman, "What is this thou hast done?" And the woman said, "The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat." And the Lord said unto the serpent, "Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all the cattle and above every beast of the field."
Right, and that's spiritual. So if you look at a woman today, that would represent Israel. That followed the devil. People always blame it on Eve, but what about Israel being a woman too? That was beguiled by the serpent and did eat. All right, and the Lord said because of that we got cursed above all these other nations. All right. Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We speaking about us being the true kings of the earth. But with being kings, there's what? Responsibility. Go ahead, brother.
It says, "Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and the dust shalt thou eat."
So upon his belly, I mean, there's some low down, dirty motherfuckers. All right, so they low down, man. They scum of the earth. Heathens. And he said their dwelling shall be the dust of the earth, meaning confusion. They're going to dwell in confusion. When the brother read it earlier, the bar, he read it, he said, they shall be called what? The border of confusion. Border of wickedness. Right?
"And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise its heel."
That's right, man. All right. Go.
This is Psalms chapter 147, verse 19. "He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord."
Right. So what did he say? You alone have I known? Yeah, anybody got that? Amos 3:1. Right. So the Lord gave us the laws. That's why we got judged for it, according to Deuteronomy 28. But guess what? All those curses that came on us, they're gonna fall on Esau now. All right, since they wanted to take this book into their hands. And they wanted to take these people into their head. They got to take the judgments that come with it. All right?
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1.
Right.
Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which are brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Wow, man. So it's all the families on the earth. The Lord said he only knows us. Okay. All right. Did you know that? The Lord only knows the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's a so-called black man according to the Bible. All right. Bet y'all gonna pick that Bible up tomorrow. Probably gonna get it off your dashboard today. Oh, he wasn't done. But he said what? The laws were given to us, so that's why we got judged for it. But now it's time for these nations. The Lord about to bring a judgment on the whole world. He's going to judge the whole world. But only the elect are going to have the mark of exemption from that judgment. All right, go ahead, brother.
It's the book of Job, chapter 4, and verse 5. But now it is come upon thee, and thou faintest. It toucheth thee, and thou art troubled. And this is referring to a Temanite, all right, which is an Edomite, would be an Edomite today, all right? And this is